welcome to Tricia's Cards and Crafts, and here's the first one in my new series of Simple to Stepped Up on Sundays. And I thought, as it's the start of the new year, we'd start off with a New Year's card. And these are the two cards that I've made. Now, I've had to use a few different stamp sets to make these. This is the Free as a Bird, which is in the annual catalogue. The greatest part of Christmas, so that I could get this, it's a host set, so it might not be available to everybody. This host sets are only if you have a party, and this was available last year, so you won't be able to get this one, but I quite like the sentiment here. Here is to the new year, bringing happy beginnings. But I'm sure you'll be able to find another sentiment if you want to, or you can just write it in yourself anyway. And then the Itty Bitty Christmas, I've taken this stamp here, but I'm only using the Happy New Year part of the stamp, so I'm only inking at the Happy New Year. Okay, so those are the three stamp sets that I'm using. I couldn't find another stamp set sentiment that I wanted to use from this year's set of stamps, which is why I've not used one of the ones that are out at the moment. But hopefully you'll be able to find something in your own stashes that you'll be able to use for the inside. Okay, so this is the stepped up version, and I'll explain how I made that in a little while. And this is the simple version, which is just simple stamping. So we've got Happy New Year. I've put a little branch at the top, and I've put the little robins standing on some snow. Not that we've got snow at the moment anyway. I'll put a branch inside, and then the sentiment there, and then I've put a branch on the envelope on the flap, and at the bottom on the front. Okay, so that's what we're going to make today. So I'm going to use it while it's open, and I'll start off with the branch at the top. So I'm using Early Espresso ink to do my inking. So there's the branch, and I'm not worried too much if it doesn't go right off the side. I want it to be off the side because I want it to look as though it's coming in. Then I'm going to put my Happy New Year, and again, just be very careful because and again, it's much easier to do this if you've got a small re-inker, ink spot, stamping spots. This one came with another set, but you can use the plain ones, and then just you get the ink refills and do it yourself to make your own. There we go, Happy New Year. And then the bird. There we go. And I'm going to make this bird into a robin, obviously. There we go. And then on the inside, I'm just going to put another branch coming in off the side, and the sentiment. There we go. There we are. So that's the card done, stamped anyway, and then we'll just do a couple of the branches. One coming in on the side there, and on the front. Coming in at the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now that's all the stamping done. So now for the colouring. Now I've got an early espresso Stampin' Right marker, and I'm using markers on this because if I use the Stampin' Blends they would show through because they bleed, whereas the Stampin' Right markers don't. And I'm using the fine end, so if I hadn't reached right to the edge, I can just take the edge, take it to the edge with my marker. And I'm also going to just use sort of sketchy lines to carry on the snow so that it actually looks as though it's on a mound of snow. So there's the lines just extended slightly. Okay, so that's the inside. Don't need to do it on the inside either, but I might just need to do it on the envelope. Just make sure that that's taken right to the edge, and then again on the flap just take this and just put a few sort of sketchy lines to make it look so that it reaches to the edge. Okay, right, now for the branches I've used the soft suede marker pen, and I'm using the brush end for this just to do the branches. I'm just doing it really lightly. And then for the leaves I'm using the Paper Pizzazz marker pen. Again, you can use whichever colour you want to, but I just decided to use these. There we go. Hope you've all had a really nice Christmas. Obviously it's been a bit different this year than usual. So those are the leaves coloured in on the envelope. Now I'll start on the card. So go back into the soft suede for the branches. Yep, we've had a nice quiet Christmas this year. Bit different to usual. It would have been nicer to be able to see everybody, but it's not always possible, and we just have to accept it. At least hopefully now we'll be able to see everybody in the new year, once we're all back to normal again. I'm also just going to take this up so that his feet aren't his feet are on something solid because his one foot is slightly higher, so it needs to be raised up a little bit. Right, I'm going to use some of the Seaside spray to do some snow, so that it just to do some sort of shadowing, so that it looks like just wherever the marks are, just to sort of add a little bit of something, because obviously the snow itself wouldn't necessarily have any marks. And then I'm going to go back to the Paper Pizzazz to do the leaves. And again, it'll be a slightly different New Year's as well, with everything still different. Here we go. And then we'll just go for the bird now. So I'm going to do the beak. I think I'll do it in soft suede as well. Just put some brown for his beak. And then I'm going to use a number of different colours for the actual robin. So I'll do some of the brown this is the soft suede for the tail, a little bit around the head, and then I'm going to use the crumb cake to fill in any gaps that I've left, a little bit underneath so that it's not completely solid, a little bit under the wing. And then I'm going to use some grey granite is the one, because when you see a robin they're not completely, there is some grey around the outside. I'm not going to do any more than that for now. And then the orange. Now if you look at I know it's called a robin red breast, but they don't always have, they're not really red breasts, they are quite orangey. Apparently when they were first found there was no such colour, or there hadn't been anything called an orange up until that time, so that's why they'd used red to describe their breasts. So but I think the pumpkin pie which is what I'm using, is great for the robin's red breast. It's not quite red. So, and then I'm just going around the edge with some grey granite again, and then I'll just do a little bit of with the this is the early espresso marker pen. I'm just going to go back over to put some darker patches in. There we go. And then I'll go back over again, just over the top with the soft suede. Oh, I'm going to have to go back again with my crumb cake again. Just but not too much, because I don't want, there we go, I want it all to blend in. There we go. So there's our robin, and you can see it's not gone through, that's just a little mark on the paper. There we go. So there's our robin on the snow. Now if you wanted to, you could add a bit of glitter or something like that to make it sparkle a bit, but there's the card and the envelope finished. So there's that one, and there's my first one. Just put a few more darker shades in on this one than I did on the first one, but there we go. So that's the first, those are the simple cards. Now for the stepped up one, I've put him sitting on the branch. Now what I did, I've used the same branch, but I've repeated it, and I've put another one a bit further up. I'm not worried about this little bit not being part of the tree, but what I did, I just used the marker pen again to just extend the branch across so that it all looks as though it's one branch. So that's what I did with that. I've used the Stampin' Blends to colour the robin in this time. So I used the soft suede, I've used the crumb cake, and I used some grey granite light to do the grey, and I used the pumpkin pie to do the body. I did go over it with some of the marker pen just around the edges to give it a little bit more of a shadow effect. I did the leaves, I did the branches exactly the same. I did the leaves using light old olive and soft seafoam, so that's what I used for the leaves. And I used I punched out the sentiment, the Happy New Year, with one of my punches. I've gone around the edge with some of the old espresso ink, just lightly around the edge, just held it to the side and used the pen around the edge. And then I used one of my brushes, one of these brushes, with some Sahara sand ink, and I just used that to just softly soften the edges a little bit, to make it also look a little bit more, I don't know, softer, more like a soft focus, and a bit more aged perhaps. I used some of this double-sided paper. It was from the curvy celebrations bundle, and it came with that, and I used the paper from there, the DSP, and I used one of the sheets of that, cut it down to fit, and I've used a little embellishment from the bird ballad trinkets. Now these were some that I've had in my stash. They came out when this stamp first came out. Don't know that they're still available. Let's just check. Whoops. I don't know if they are. I'll find out now. 2 seconds. No, they're not. They're not available anymore, but they were. That's where I got them from originally. But you could use anything you've got in your stash if you want to. You could use a piece of string to go around it. You could tie a little bow in the corner maybe. But I've done the same thing on the inside. I didn't put the branch on the inside as well, but I did put it on the envelope, on the front and the back of the envelope. Okay, so those are the cards that I've made. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be great. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll see the button below, and if you want to be notified when I post a new video, you can click on the little bell icon, and that will take you, it'll notify you then whenever I post a new video. If you've got any questions, you can or any suggestions for any more cards that you'd like me to, what sort of stamp sets you'd like me to include, and I'll see if I can do those for you. If you've got any suggestions for anything else, then just, you can email me or you can put them in the comments below. If you want to email me, my email address is triciascardsandcrafts@yahoo.com. If you'd like any of the materials I've used that I've said that are available, you can find them on my online shop, and that is triciascardsandcraft.stampinup.net. Okay, I will try and put the link below in the comments. Okay, if there's anything else, just let me know, and hopefully you'll be able to join me again for another one of my videos. Thanks for joining me, and Happy New Year. Bye.